3, 5. El Karuga.
Kapla!
Kapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Garoga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird O' Prey 5, Kapla, and welcome to Bed Life for Friday, April 19th, 2024, aka National Poker Day. National Poker Day. And as John Araki says, poker in the front, liquor in the rear. John Araki with 99 cents, super poop, super sticker. Thank you so much, my friend. We will see if the
It's a fake.
if the kissing Dax gods rain down favorably on you, but no, it's a fake. It's a fake today. Not Ryan Johnson says hello in Kapla. Hail Karoga. Hail. Not Ryan Johnson. And Not Ryan Johnson asks, is Bird O' Prey 5 poking people with a stick again? Probably those darn people with the leaf blowers. Not today. No leaf blowers today. Not Ryan Johnson. They usually take Fridays off. Elihu, welcome Elihu. Says John Trimble passed away this morning. Yes, a sad day for those in the Star Trek community. John Trimble, the husband of the husband and wife team that saved Star Trek, that's championed the what's it called? The grassroots movement to bring Star Trek from the brink of cancellation to get NBC to add a 3rd season of Star Trek, which was enough to get it into syndication, without which a 3rd season, the first 2 seasons of Star Trek would have been canceled and never heard from again, and Star Trek would have died a a quick and unremarkable death as just another failed TV show of the 1960s. But instead, due to the work of this couple from California, from Oakland, who really loved the show. They had been on the show to visit how it was doing, and they had been there in season 2, and they could tell it was a very happy show, and everybody on the stage, everything was going good. Everybody was happy. Then they came back in the 3rd season. No, they came back in the 2nd season, and everybody was depressed, and they had to find out what was going on. So when they went to talk to people in where you get the food, whatever it's called, and they got told that that the rumor is that this is going to be their final season, that they've been canceled. So that's why everybody was like depressed on this visit. And so they realized they had to do something. And so let's just bring it up. Let's bring it up. Remembering John G. Trimble, the StarTrek.com honors the luminary whose contribution saves the Star Trek universe by StarTrek.com staff. StarTrek.com is saddened to report the passing of John G. Trimble, who passed away the morning of April 19th, 2024, as confirmed by his daughter, Lara Bohm, in a post. Star Trek and fandoms, as we know it, all stems from the efforts and passions of John and his wife, Jo Trimble, the couple who launched a grassroots letter writing campaign to save Star Trek following NBC's cancellation of the original series, resulting in a 3rd season. With enough episodes, then, Star Trek was able to enter syndication, propelling it into a phenomenon that warranted an animated series in 1973 and a big budget feature film in 1979. John and Jo, and I guess the name is spelled BJO, but I'm assuming that the B is silent, because I don't understand how you would pronounce Bajo. It doesn't make any sense. So John and Jo Trimble in 2016 were brought on stage at Star Trek Las Vegas in celebration of the 50th anniversary, and the Star Trek franchise team surprised and honored them with a painted portrait of them by J.K. Woodward. Recalling their efforts after a visit to the original series set following the 50th anniversary honor, John Trimble told StarTrek.com, "When we saw the change in the cast and crew during the filming of The Deadly Years from what it had been before, we knew something was going on. It had been a very up cast and crew, and now it was very down, the mood. We found out by going to Craft Services, the underground gossip source, that they were probably going to cancel the show after the 2nd season. We had to leave and go back to Oakland, where we lived at the time. And on the way, we were talking about what a change it had been in the cast. I turned to Jo and I said, there ought to be something we can do about that, knowing full well that that was that I was throwing down the challenge. The couple immediately sprang into action. John Trimble added, "We spent the rest of the trip going up the Central Valley before Interstate 5 back to Oakland, discussing how to do it and putting together the Save Star Trek campaign." Joe Trimble credited John for building out the framework of their grassroots campaign. "We knew, of course, we were going to have to both mail letters. John went down to the post office, learned all about mail rules, and brand new was the zip code system. They told us flat out that if material wasn't zip coded, it wouldn't go out as bulk mail, that it would just sit in the post office. John got all the books in those days, it was stacks of them, and learned the zip code rules. We came home, put those into effect when we mailed the letters. John was downstairs with a hand-cranked mimeograph machine, turning out the letters, which we still have a copy or two. We folded them, labeled them, and stamped them, and put them in bulk mail. He was doing a bunch of the physical work, the grunt work. I was more getting people over to help us. It was actually wonderful. We would work the volunteers hard all weekend. John was everywhere. He was the one who ran the errands. He's the one who lifted, toted, and basically it simply was not possible for me to do it alone. This is why we're a pair. The decades following their legendary writing campaign, John and Joe Trimble remained ambassadors for science fiction, the space program, and the Society of Creative Anarchism. The pair continued to attend Star Trek premiere and events, meeting fellow fans and sharing the enthusiasm for each new iteration of Star Trek and generation of fandom, including last year's Star Trek Picard Season 3 red carpet premiere in Hollywood, California. Well, that's unfortunate for them. The entire Star Trek family sends their condolences to the Trimble's family, friends, and loved ones around the world. Not to be confused with Tribbles, but Trimble. I wonder if there's any relation. Maybe not. So yeah, rest in peace to John Trimble. It would appear, I guess, his wife may have already passed on. Miss Lundell's groovy movie says kapla, kapla, Mr. Lundell. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says kapla, bird, kapla, gorilla. Pop Culture Curator says hello, guys. Hello, Pop. Yvette says good evening, bird, and everyone. Good evening to the lovely Yvette. Hakeem says hello, bird, and all. Kapla, Hakeem. Richie Poole is in the house, puts in like 9 or 10 or 12 alpacas because he's late. He's quite late. Jedi Bill says, Kapla, Brother Warrior, Birdo Prey 5, and all should hail Karoga. Good for you, Bill. Kapla, Bill. And once again, I'm glad you are doing well. John Araki says, hashtag give waitresses the tip. Yes, well, waitresses generally do like the tip. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello, hello, Captain. John Araki says World War III greater than Civil War II. Probably. Jim's Landscape LLC says hello, hello, Jim. Commodore Productions. The Traveler says Birdo Prey 5. Greetings, birds, turds, and nerds. Greetings, Traveler. Miss Lundell says National Poker Day. Sounds like I have another favorite holiday. John Araki says, why didn't Trimble try to keep STD from getting canceled? I guess he got old. Richie Poole says, the famous 1 million letter campaign to save Star Trek. Jim's Landscape LLC has a link 4,000 plus live or 4,000 plus live. Either way, with a link to Jim's Landscape. Richie Poole says, can't we get a 10 million letter campaign going to kill modern Star Trek? Maybe. Resolute Germ says, hello all. Hello, Resolute. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. TJ Play Nice says, wee. Antiderivative Jill says, hello. Kapla, Antiderivative Jill. Antiderivative Jill has been streaming all morning on the anniversary, or not the anniversary, the congratulations on her 1,000 subscriber today. Although I think she actually got it a couple of days ago. She reached 1,000 subscribers. Most likely, she said it was when she went on to Doomcock's stream, a Wednesday night panel stream on Doomcock, where she got to talk about how much she loved Galaxy Quest, and it seemed to get her well over the 1,000 subscribers. So congratulations to Antiderivative Jill for passing the 1,000 subs mark. Now, granted, YouTube has already changed the rules, so she did not need to hit 1,000 to get monetized like you used to need to. So she was already monetized. So really, not a whole lot will change for her. I suppose she'll get access to putting commercials into uploaded content rather than just live streams. Not usually a big deal per se, but something she can keep an eye out for soon. And just again, a big congrats to her. Where are we? Sean Carter says, greetings, all greetings, Sean. DJ Play Nice is saying congrats to Jill for the 1K. Captain Fandom Nerd says hashtag hail on Karoga. DJ Play Nice is 13 likes and 25 in chat. Shame. Don't worry, DJ Play Nice. Probably all you need to do is refresh the page. It'd probably be a lot closer. Jim's Landscape LLC says hi to Jill and congrats on the 1,000. Absolutely. Congrats on those 1,000. Okay. Let's see. What do we got going? What do we got going on the web browser? Today we got LDG. We're keeping an eye on LDG. 53,000.1 subscribers for LDG. Let's check our news. Iran. Follows fires at apparent drones. AOC and somebody else criticized appalling suspension of Omar's daughter at Columbia. Did she even have a daughter? I didn't even think that lady was old enough to have a kid. Man sets himself on fire in protest area outside of hush money trial in Manhattan. Cops looking for suspect who set man on fire. Oh, wait. Is it NBC New York? Man sets himself on fire. Also NBC New York. Cops looking for suspect who set man on fire. Which is it? Oh, New York auditors crack down on out-of-state residents avoiding tax. This is, what about the New York State auditors? They're cracking down on me, not avoiding tax. New York auditors crack down on an out-of-state resident's avoiding tax version of a colonoscopy. New York State auditors monitor everything from people's travel schedules to the locations of their pets in order to prove they owe taxes, even if they have their residency out of state, according to a report. Wealthy Empire State residents who maintain an adobe in New York but spend most of their time elsewhere are still on the hook to pay the taxman in Albany. State auditors go to great lengths to investigate claims by those who say they are either a part-time or non-residents of New York, according to Bloomberg News. Auditors will peek into people's private lives and apply a so-called teddy bear test to see where individuals keep some of their most prized possessions so as to back up their claims of their primary residency. The state will also consider someone as having spent the day within its jurisdiction, even if they were for just a few hours. A transplanted New Yorker who moved out of state and then came back for an outpatient treatment at a hospital will have that time be counted as residing in New York. New York State auditors will even consider someone driving from New Jersey to Connecticut and getting off the highway in New York to stop for lunch as having spent the day in New York. We always tell people the tax audit from New York is like the tax version of a colonoscopy. Mark Klein, a tax attorney for Hudson Ross, told Bloomberg News. I've had cases that have hinged on a single dog, Klein said. I had a case once that was based on the fact that the person moved their Pelton bicycle to Florida. According to the New York Department of Taxation and Finance, New York resident is anyone who spends at least 184 days in the state during the taxable year and maintains a permanent place of abode. One of the most popular destinations in recent years for New Yorkers is Florida, but those who migrated south can still expect to hear from tax auditors in Albany. Jonathan Mariner, an investor who created TaxDay, an app that tracks users' locations to ensure they don't overstay the 184-day threshold, said that New Yorkers who moved to Florida and filed a partial return with Albany can expect to hear from auditors. Even though you have a Florida driver's license, Florida voting record, Florida home, it does not matter. Mariner himself, a transplanted New Yorker who has decamped for Florida, told Bloomberg. You could be on vacation in New York and they'll pull you back in. Tax attorneys advise their wealthy clients to be particular about how much time they spend in New York so that they can avoid paying significant sums of money in state income tax. Those who own private jets make sure to take off or land in the same state either just a few minutes before or after midnight so as to make sure they don't cross the 184-day limit. Others will be in their vehicles near the George Washington Bridge just before midnight, waiting for the clock to strike 12 before crossing the Hudson River into Manhattan. Between 2013 and 2017, New York State auditors collected around $1 billion from 15,000 audits. The state stepped up the pace of tax audits in recent years. In the 2022-2023 tax year, the state conducted 756,344 audits, which yielded $3.22 billion in collections, according to the Department of Taxation and Finance. The year prior, the state conducted 862,000 audits, which resulted in $2.21 billion. Residency audits are a key source of tax revenue for the state, which sees exodus of high earners who move to Florida. In 2023, New York had the third highest income tax rate in the country, according to a study by TurboTax. Florida is among 9 states that do not levy a state income tax. According to census data, more than 500,000 people have left New York since 2020. An outflow that was spurred by the coronavirus pandemic, as well as a sharp decline in the quality of life throughout the Big Apple, which saw a spike in crime, homelessness, and the cost of living. Last year alone, New York metropolitan area lost 65,000 residents. They just lost them. We can't find them. They're missing. The Post has sought to comment from the Department of Taxation and Finance. But what are they going to say? Yes, this is all correct. Man sets himself on fire outside hush money trial. Star Trek seasons are getting shorter, and that's not going to change. This is like old news. Old news. Star Trek Discovery is currently taking its final bow after 5 seasons and 1 soft reboot, ending the longest running show of the modern era, totaling 65 episodes. Thankfully, there are other Star Trek releases to look forward to. No, I wouldn't go that far. Discovery might not have been the fandom's favorite, but it did spin off into Strange New Worlds, which is quite good. Still, we haven't seen a Star Trek show other than Voyager ever hit the 100 episode mark. What? Still, we haven't seen a Star Trek show other than Voyager ever hit the 100 episode mark. And Star Trek producer Alex Kurtzman believes that isn't going to change. What the? No. What do you mean? We haven't seen. I need an explanation on that. Still, we haven't seen a Star Trek show other than Voyager ever hit the 100 episode mark. That doesn't make any sense. The original series had 100 episodes. TNG had at least, I would imagine, almost 200 episodes. As would have Discovery, as would have as would have Deep Space Nine, as would have Voyager, and then even Enterprise had another 100+ episodes. Why? What the fuck are they talking about? During an interview ahead of Star Trek Discovery's premiere, Alex Kurtzman shared his thoughts on modern franchise entry ever reaching 100 episodes. Kurtzman stated that such an episode count feels like a tall order, considering that most current seasons of modern Star Trek are only about 10 episodes in length. However, he also added another factor into the equation by stating that most people who watch 2 seasons of a streaming show and then they check out, that's not specific to Trek. My God, man, that's not specific to Trek. You don't know how to tell a story. You don't know how to tell a story if people are checking out after 2 seasons. Discovery Season 5 happening at all is a miracle. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Alex Kurtzman isn't wrong on that front. Streaming has forever changed the world of television because content on demand actually provides more options for viewers. It makes it difficult to keep viewers glued to a single show, especially since the audiences are bombarded with plenty of content from other streamers. No, it doesn't. If it's a quality show, people just want more of it. Okay? Cobra Kai. That Netflix show, with the kids and the Upside Down. People still want good shows. Discovery made it to season 5 is nothing short of a miracle. Sure, the series might have been canceled, but far more popular shows, there it is, like Stranger Things, have had shorter episode counts for the reasons we previously mentioned. Older series used filler episodes. So the fuck what? Admittedly, a shorter format isn't necessarily a bad thing for Star Trek. No, it is a bad thing. Or any other shows currently on streaming. Older Star Trek may have had other shows often pushed for 22 episode seasons, which implied creating filler episodes that honestly weren't as good. The audience would always spot a filler. Having a 10 episode season forces everyone involved, from writing to production, to make each of the stories featured in those episodes count as much as it possibly can. Yeah, but you still have shitty episodes in Discovery. Strange New World sets a new standard. Star Trek Strange New World actually adheres to this short format in a rather masterful way. It focuses more on character-driven serialization that intertwines personal narratives with the crew's daily adventures. The recipe is so effective that Discovery reportedly mimicked the narrative style of Strange New World for its final season. Honestly, this might be the new storytelling format for the entire franchise from now on. And if that's the case, we might actually witness Strange New Worlds make it to 100 episodes. I will admit, Strange New Worlds was doing better than Discovery was last I checked. But I'm going to be honest, I was completely surprised when I watched this most recent 4th episode of Star Trek Discovery that was on yesterday. It got released yesterday, and I didn't watch it when it first got released at 3 a.m. I was busy, so I didn't end up watching it till later in the day. And in fact, it was last night as I was kind of going to sleep, I decided to put it on. And lo and behold, I liked it. It was the first Discovery episode in years that I actually was like, oh my God, this is not total shit. This is not total shit. And I don't want to give up too much info. I'm not going to spoil it, because you actually have an episode where you might call it spoiled. I'm not saying it is spoiled. I'm just saying you might call it spoiled if you knew what happened. So I'm going to not talk about it today. I will talk about it soon. But if there's one episode of Discovery you going to watch this season, I think it's this episode. Episode 4, season 5, episode 4. And then we can talk about it next time. But yeah, it makes some sense if they're learning how to tell the story like they did in Strange New Worlds. It's interesting. It really, in that respect, it really is. However, I don't understand this bullshit about Voyager. Oh my God. And now they have to remind me how terrible how terrible Strange New Worlds was with their fucking musical episode. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 is currently in production. Series has already been renewed for Season 4, which isn't all that surprising, considering it's been a fan favorite from the moment it first aired. And it was. I mean, remember, this goes back to Discovery Season 2, none of which was ever supposed to happen. It was Discovery Season 1 being so awful that they had to bring in Captain Pike and Number One and Spock, all of which they had promised us that was never going to happen. They told us in Season 1 and before Season 1 aired that Spock was never going to show up. Spock was never going to show up. But sure enough, here he was. And then he got his own show. And then they're all doing a musical number. Some of its episodes, like the musical episode and the crossover with Lower Decks, which is also concluding its run, have been the most watched episodes on streaming in multiple weeks. The only watched episodes on streaming in multiple weeks, I would venture to guess. Anyway. Sorry guys, going to the chat. Apparently I lost my place. I definitely read that. Okay. So Mr. Lundell and Thomas Potts, those are two different stories. One guy on fire was Manhattan, the other was the Bronx. Oh. Okay. Well, welcome to New York, people. One guy sets himself on fire, the other guy gets set on fire. It's one of those days. Mom will pray. Yeah. Could you do the hose? Do the hose, and then you said you had a tale for later? Yes, I do. Mom will pray has a tale. Okay, well, in a few minutes, let me get through some of the chat. Yeah. Star Trek Nitpicker says, thank you, Berto Prey. I had no idea what to do after finishing my disco review. Cool, very cool. And there's a link to Star Trek Nitpicker's disco review. I'm interested, Nitpickers, if you feel the same as I on this episode or not. If it is the same to me, it's like a dark and scary prospect. Like, wait, what the hell did I just see? Sean Carter says, and they wonder why people are fleeing New York and California. Nitpicker says, taxes ruined me this year. Luckily, you all are watching my vids. Thanks. Yes. DJ Plain Ice says, Star Trek Nitpickers, are you associated with the Nitpicker guidebooks? And Nitpicker says, no, they inspired my channel though. Gorilla's Random Thoughts says, what kind of commie bullshit is that? DJ Plain Ice says, STN cool. I had one of my nitpicks published circa 1991. So for the second edition, I was all kinds of excited. Resolute Germ says that's less than $5,000 per audit. Doubt the state actually came out ahead on those. DJ Play Nice is saying, pointing at Gorilla's random thoughts. Hakeem says, just become a sovereign citizen, and you don't have to pay taxes. I think that's how it works. I don't think it works like that at all. Hakeem is lolling. Star Trek Nitpickers is Bird of Prey 5. They must mean since, not other than. Yeah, okay. Miss Londell says all track shows from the 80s and 90s hit 100 episodes. TOS only has 80. Gorilla's Random Thoughts' original series only has 70. But it was enough. It was enough to be it was enough to reach syndication at the time. For 1960s, it was enough. Admiral Teague is here. Hello. Hail, Admiral Teague. And guys, after I'm done streaming, Admiral Teague will be streaming later this evening. Heads up, I recorded a video just for Admiral Teague. He will be premiering it on his stream later today. So you might want to go check it out. He will hopefully post the link in with a link to his upcoming stream. Sean Carter says, I think they mean since Voyager, TOS at 79, TNG 178. And Enterprise only had 98. Really? It was close enough. Close enough. Admiral Teague says hello to Gorilla's Random Thoughts, to DJ Play Nice, and to Hakeem. Resolute says hey to Teague. Sean Carter says hey. Gorilla Multi-Gunman says Bird. Hey Bird, how's it going? Going good, Multi-Gunman. Hope you're okay. The Multi-Gunman says Bird of Prey 5. Sorry, you are wrong. What people want is more Burr. That's what we want. Oh, thank you, Multi-Gunman. Admiral Teague says season 5 is just bloated part 2 of season 4. It's only filler. Star Trek Nitpicker says this article is a joke. There were no filler episodes in old Trek. Some were more connected to longer stories, is all. And Admiral Teague says Strange New Worlds is not episodic. Episodic shows don't need previously on segments every week. And Admiral Teague says the lows are so low on Strange New Worlds. Sean Carter says modern shows, 10 episodes are best with seasons 2 years apart, and all that with shit writing. These, quote, writers are absolute hacks. I hate what passes for modern entertainment. Absolutely. Oh, God. The Multi-Gunman says Bird of Prey 5. It wasn't the episode of Discovery that you liked. It was the beer you were drinking at the time you liked. Unfortunately, I don't drink beer or any alcohol these days. In fact, I wasn't eating anything either. I had my my ventilator on. I guess I was getting pure oxygen. That I might have liked that. DJ Play Nice says a salute to Admiral Teague. And Hakeem gives a kapla to Admiral Teague as well. Big thumbs up to DJ Play Nice from Sean Carter. Star Trek Nitpicker says, remember before Disco came out and we knew lots about it, but hadn't seen it, it sounded cool enough. Oh well. Admiral Teague says the crossover episode of Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds set the record with 24 producers. A Resolute Germ says Bird thinks an episode of STD was good. Check him for drugs. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, not tonight. But it was interesting. Admiral Teague is feeling hot, hot, hot. DJ Play Nice says to the multi-gun man, knife is Wather CCP, one extra I don't know what we're talking about. Miss Lundell's Groovy Movie says, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Stop watching this trash. Stop doing reviews on it just to say you hate it. They're using it to prop this trash up. I know what you're saying, Miss Lundell. I do. I get it. But this episode, well, what if it really was a good episode? I know. It's still not worth having, but it's already out there. They've already paid for it to be made. DJ Play Nice says Admiral Teague with David Josen riff. Multi-Gun Man says, Bird, can I be adopted by Mama Prey? I'd like to have her as a mom. The multi-gun man.
It became Teague's official mother, and then
She says, sure. She became Deej's official mom, and then she stopped hearing. She stopped hearing from him. He ignores her. Do you want to do a bigger family is always nice, right?
just tell me your birthday so I remember it.
Just tell her your birthday so she remembers it. You want to do your tale, Mama Prey?
Sure, I'll give a tale. I came out of retirement. I know a couple of weeks ago I said I resigned, but I'm back. Hi, everyone. And it's Friday. I have a tale that goes back, starts off before Bird was even thought of. In fact, this happened soon after I met Dad O'Prey. We weren't dating yet, but I had met him. I was 21 years old. And I was working on Wall Street during the day, and in the evenings, I would leave work, take the train, and go to my father's bar and grill. And I would work there for a few hours. My father wasn't feeling well, and it was a neighborhood bar. He did a lot of daytime business, and on the weekends, they stayed open late. But during the week, when the place emptied out, we just closed up. Could have been 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. But I was really exhausted. I was doing it because I wanted my father to get home, which he only lived across the street, and get some rest. And anyway, so I had an apartment not far. I didn't have a car then, so normally when I'd close up the bar, I'd walk across the street, bring my father the receipts of the day. I mean, you wouldn't even do that today. You wouldn't let the neighborhood know that you were carrying cash across the street. But in any case, I had an apartment not far. I would say 21 years old. And this one night, it was a weekend, I was home, and I got a call from somebody I would describe as a cousin, though he wasn't a cousin. His father and my father had been partners for many years. As a child growing up, I called his father and mother aunt and uncle. And he was a little bit younger than me, so maybe he was 20 or 19. He calls me up, and he had a problem with drugs. And he called me up and he said, "I'm stoned. I can't go home. And I stay at your house." I was torn, but I said, "Where are you?" And he was, I don't know, within walking distance. So I said, "Yeah, okay." It was summer. It was really hot. This apartment was in an apartment building. I was on the first floor. No air conditioning back then. I'm pointing this out because he got there. I threw him a pillow. I don't even know if I gave him a sheet or a blanket. And he slept in the living room. He went out like a light. I went in my bedroom, closed the door, and it was hot. I had a fan on. I had the windows open. And I was sleeping. Don't get crazy now. In just my panties. And I was under a sheet. And I fell asleep. Next thing I knew. Oh, wait, before next thing. I'm in the bedroom, and the next morning I was planning on going to do my laundry in a laundromat. Like I said, this was years ago, no washer and dryer in
You're
apartments.
asking what year?
What year? I was 21. So figure it out. 50, 67, 72. Yes, it was 1972. Because that's when I met Dad O'Bray, right before this incident. So I had my laundry in a cart, a push cart, at the door of my bedroom. And on top, thank God, was this tremendous bath towel. We will all remember bath towels. Anyway, I wake up to banging on the door, and I smell smoke. I grabbed this very large bath towel, threw it around me, opened the door, and smoke all around. I yelled. The guy in the living room name was Joe. "Joe, get up, get up." He was stumbling around still, but he made it up. I got to the door to open it to get out. I met the firemen at the door. They had the axe. They were about to break down the door. Well, as that door opened, the whole kitchen and living room went up in flames. And there I am with a towel wrapped around me and panties on, thank goodness. No shoes, no nothing. And I'm dumbfounded. And all the neighbors, do you think anybody offered me a robe or anything? No, no. I'll tell you the truth. I don't know what happened to Joe. I really don't. I went outside as did all the other neighbors. I had to get out. Firemen were in the, it was an apartment building. There were like 4 stories in it. And I went down to the corner. There was a car service that I would use quite often. And when I went in, the guy said to me, "That's not you." I said, "Yes, it is mine," because everybody in the neighborhood could tell there was a fire. And the owner of the car service took off his shirt and gave it to me. Well, he was a big guy, and of course I'm little. So at least now I was decently covered. And anyway, the point being why I remembered this, it was terrible. I lost everything. I like, the only thing that didn't completely burn up was the bedroom. Because when I went out, I automatically closed the door behind me, though everything was smoke damaged. But it wasn't good. I went, took the car service. I had no money. I didn't have my pocketbook. I didn't have anything. The car service guy sent the car and sent me. I went to my father's house. And then when I went back to retrieve some things, there wasn't much I could retrieve. Well, okay, bad enough you lose everything. Bad enough you move back in with your parents that had already downsized to a smaller place, and there was no room. It was not a great situation. But to make matters worse, I don't know, whenever, that was July. So for taxes that year, I filed my taxes, complete casualty loss of all my furniture and clothing and everything. Don't you know? I get audited. SOB, I get audited. Well, being young and dumb, they sent a letter, come to this office at this date, and I show up all by myself. And the auditor, we're in a small office, and he says, "You claimed this, this, this." I said, "I lost everything. I had a completely furnished apartment with nice furniture, blah, blah, blah. Well, do you have receipts?" I said, "Every piece of paper I owned burned. I have nothing." "Well, do you have a photograph?" I said, "Again, you're not listening. Everything I had was in that apartment." Well, he's starting to feel a little bit sorry for me. He says, "Well, we have to itemize what you had." And we're going through the items. I mean, he wanted every piece of clothing. So at one point, he said, "How many brassieres did you have?" I looked at him. I said, "How much are they worth?" He said 50 cents each. I had 100, I told him. And he wrote down 100. Now he's really feeling sorry for me. He said, "Did you have silverware?" I said, "Yes." "Was it sterling silver?" I said, "Yes." I had a whole wooden box with a service for 8 or 16, whatever it was. I said, "It completely melted. The box burned, and all the forks and knives were all melted down the inside of the cabinet that burned." Well, then he said, "Oh, that's good. That's $500. I walked away not owing any money to the auditor. So that was my good auditing story. Of course, Howell's story So Sis O'Prey wasn't the only one caught off guard in a towel. Mom O'Prey ran down the street at 21 years old in a towel. And anyway, I recouped myself, got another apartment, and life went on. I was very happy no one was hurt. And that I am still here to tell the story because it was close. Oh, we never found out exactly why it started. Like I said, I was on the first floor of an apartment building. The living room windows faced a courtyard. And other neighbors said that there were teenagers in the courtyard and they thought they might have thrown something flammable in through the window. And the fire marshal really couldn't say why it started. So that's my fire and audit and towel story. The audit brought it to mind. And then when Bird started reading the New York State audit numbers, that really brought it to mind. So I hope I didn't put anybody to sleep, I hope. Oh, Joe, there's somebody snoring. I see it on
It's okay.
on the chat. Okay. Everybody have a great weekend and enjoy whatever you're doing.
Thank you, Mom.
Did I put you to sleep?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Mom O'Prey. I guess people are asking, is that Joe? Is that my name? Sync?
No, well,
Obviously not.
not him.
No.
No. You were named after my father.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta understand. In Italian families, there's a lot of Joes, a lot of Josephs. Yeah.
Admiral Teague says it's hilarious. Thank you for making it. You're welcome. Star Trek Nitpickers says the guy who got syndication rights for TOS is now seen as a visionary who went after the rights as soon as they were available and no one cared about them. The Multi-Gun Man says to DJ Play Nice, yes, I do firework content, but it's been a long time since I've made a video. Not fireworks, firearms content. Sean Carter says, Admiral Teague, I still owe you one. Jedi Bill says hello to the Multi-Gun Man. Multi-Gun Man says, I'm doing good. DJ Play Nice says, subbed, do more gun vids to the Multi-Gun Man. And he will try to do more. Admiral Teague says, saving Star Trek, STDs 5, Season 5, Episode 4, Watch Party, Panel Review, and Discussion. And there's a link to his StreamYard. Admiral Teague says, I've poached almost 1,000 views from New Trek. It's bullshit. Gorilla's Red of Thought says, don't spoil the episode. I want to be surprised when I'm disappointed. I will not spoil it. Star Trek Nitpicker says, I adopted a younger friend. Now he just asks me for money all the time. John Araki says, Mom O'Prey, 2024. Multi-Gun Man says, Mama Pray. DJ Play Nice says, was this the early 60s and early 70s? Yes. John Araki says, having trouble with drugs. Stoned. Bet he'd like the first episode of STD. Stanley says, oh, talk slower. From Mamo Pray. DJ Play Nice says, thank you, Mamo Pray. Stanley says, bird's namesake. No. Cody Guy says, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Cody Guy. Stanley says, what color were they? That's hot. DJ Play Nice says, oh no. Star Trek Nitpickers says, my family house burned down. Yeah, awful. What started the fire? I don't know. We don't know. John Araki says, Mama Pray, seduce the auditor. No. He just felt so bad for her. DJ Play Nice is good. Nitpicker. Nitpicker says, Hitchhiker's Guide says always keep a towel with you. That is true. TJ Play Nice says, thanks for the story, Mama Pray. DJ Play Nice also says, Vorgons at STN Thursday, wasn't it? Nitfigure says, thanks to Mama Pray. Stanley says, Anthony Jr., Tony. Yeah, it's similar. Mike Richards says, thanks to Mama Pray, and puts a bunch of roses for Mama Pray. And Jedi Bill says, thank you, Mama Pray. Love you, and a bunch of hearts. Mama Pray says, thank you all. Okay. Let's go back to the web browser, and it is April 19th, and it's National Garlic Day. It's a tough one. Refresh Your Goals Day, a perfect time to refocus and refresh your personal goals. Congenital diaphragmatic hernia action day. Are you ready to learn about? No. Congenital diaphragmatic hernia and spread awareness about it? No, I am not. Dutch American Friendship Day. Don't miss celebrating Dutch American Friendship Day. It's a special day to spend time with your friends. It's Humorous Day. This is a day designed to urge us to see the silver lining in every situation. It's John Parker Day. Celebrate determination and bravery in the face of danger on John Parker Day. It's Landing of the 33 Patriots Day. Wave your flags up in the air to celebrate landing of the 33 Patriots Day. National Amaretto Day. National Cat Lady Day. Get ready to spoil your furry pal as we celebrate National Cat Lady Day. Do you want to be known as the next cat lady? Mama Pray was a cat lady. It worked out for her. National Dog Parent Appreciation Day. Now, who wants to let the dogs out? Not dog parents, that's for sure. Let's celebrate these responsible heroes. A hero? your dog parent is actually you're a hero. National Hanging Out Day. Ditch your dryers and hang out your clothes outside as we celebrate National Hanging Out Day. National North Dakota Day. Find out how to best celebrate National North Dakota Day. Wow. I'm going to guess it's not by hanging your clothes out to dry. National, oh, this is a serious one. National Oklahoma City Bombing Commemoration Day. Why do they put that in the middle of all these other ones? Be ready to commemorate this unique day. This terrorist attack should be remembered. Then it's National Poker Day. Put your money where your mouth is as we celebrate National Poker Day. There's also Poetry and the Creative Mind Day. Today we celebrate how words have the power to rouse hearts, shape perspectives, and broaden minds. Penultimately, it's Rice Ball Day. This doesn't look like any rice ball I've ever seen, but whatever. Help yourself to a huge serving of rice balls today to satisfy your cravings. And these do not look like rice balls. And finally, Suffering Succotash. It is Sylvester the Cat birthday. Let's root for Sylvester. Being his special day, maybe things will go well for him today. Well, if things go well for him, they're not going well for Tweety Bird. So I guess you get to pick one or the other, not both. Sean Carter says, well, they succeeded. I am now aware of congenital diphrahuzah radishra, yeah, or whatever it was. Yes, the congenital diphrahemorrhagic hernia action. Yay. Yes, I assume that they succeeded. So, and, I believe, yeah, we do not have, it's a Monday, so no Dear Bops. No Dear Bops today, which is cool. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Let's do a quick update on news. Maryland teenager accused of, oh, that's not good, of plotting a school shooting, a 129-page document. At Queens Night Market, inflation doesn't exist. You can still eat your way. Really. You can still eat your way around the world for just $5. They're kind of a big deal. So much has changed since 2015, the year the Queens Night Market first set up in Flushing.
Damn elevator.
Oh, we got a donation. Is tomorrow my birthday or the oldest guy, Salty, Hail Caroga, number 22. Tomorrow, 420, yeah, I do believe is Salty's birthday, but also a famous leader, World War II leader from Germany, who shares the day with Salty. And this entire week, we got a lot of birthdays coming up. I believe, including Deej later in the week, and other people too. So keep an eye out for birthdays this week. Anyway, it says, so much has changed since 2015, since the Queens Night Market first set up camp in Flushing, promising $5 snacks and meals from a collection of mom and pop vendors. A group as diverse as you'd expect to find in Gotham's most global borough. 9 years down the road, the world may seem different, and it's much more expensive, but the market remains much the same. Back for another season, running Saturday, 4 p.m. to midnight until the end of October. You still pay no more than $5 or $6 per dish, and the list of vendors has only grown. At a time when the cost of a fun night out for friends and family is more than too many New Yorkers can afford, one of the city's best food markets, hosting more than 3 million visitors since the early days, seems more appealing than ever. This might sound idealistic, but our mission has always been to be New York City's most affordable, most diverse, and most accessible community space, founder John Wang told the Post. All the decisions we make along as we aspire to that final mission, that's what makes it special, he said. Sassy's. It's got the flag of Barbados. It's got burgers bearing the flag of Barbados. I went to Barbados. I got a hamburger from the hotel, and I vomited it up. That was not a great night. I've told that story before. It was just a bad day. Anyway, okay, we got a Dear Bop. So we'll do this Dear Bop before we end. 54.5 Access Radio says WW2 leader from Germany. Yeah. I'm not going to say the name, but you think about it. Yeah, he had a mustache. The socialist dude with the cool mustache, says Stanley. Dear Bop, I need your help. I need to know if I should start streaming on my channel. I have a few ideas, but not sure if I should do them. Well, yes, you should do them. And yes, you should start streaming on your channel. Literally anytime you want is a good time to begin. Dear Bop, got a second. Does this make me a jackass? I have been told I'm a jackass because we had a family lose their child from falling out a third-story window of a hotel. And all I said was, I got many questions on that. For one, where were the parents on this? Second, how did the windows get open? Because a 3-year-old can't just open a window, and many more. So how does that make me a jackass for questioning? So does that make me a jackass for questioning it? Well, the only thing that seems suspicious is that it's family. You're saying you had family lose a child, and you're concerned over how it happened. While I would always want to know how it happened as well, the fact is, if it was a family member who lost their loved one, I personally would probably not concern myself too much over how it happened and just kind of be there for my family member on the assumption that they were going to tell me at some point the details of how it happened. Eventually. Maybe not today and maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, they were going to tell me the details. And if they didn't, well, then so be it. But I wouldn't bring it up right away. I would give them some time that they need. And now we got a whole bunch more Dear Bobs. Of course. Dear Bob, hi Bob. I hope that's you, Deej. I hope it's you. Unfortunately, For All Mankind did get renewed for a 5th season, which is good, but it's probably going to be like a year and a half before we see it. So that's not so good. Dear Moth, have you ever began yelling at Bird of Prey or Sister of Prey, and the other one decides to interject so they get the brunt of the yelling and not the one that was supposed to be yelled at? Mama Prey says she doesn't think so. She doesn't ever remember that happening. I'll be honest, I don't recall it happening either. Mama Prey wasn't a whole lot of yelling at us like that. Dear Bob, bye Bob. Yeah. I don't know if or when I'll ever see this 5th season of For All Mankind. It's probably gonna be 2 years out, and I don't even think I'll have. I've already canceled Apple TV because they went from $6 a month to $9 now. It's $9.99. It was $6 a month with no commercials, and now it's $9.99 a month with commercials. So fuck that. I don't need to pay for, and there's nothing else on Apple TV that I enjoy at all. So we'll wait. Stanley says Bird of Prey 5 And they're doing a separate spin-off called Space City that's supposed to cover the story from the Russian point of view. Really? Well, that's interesting. That at least might give me some reason to keep Apple TV. Stanley says, will it even have Joel Kinnaman in season 5? I don't know who that is, but my guess is not. You should have had the Dear Bob graphic up. I don't know. It could have been, that could be him. Stanley says, well, Apple has to pay for those 200 million Ridley Scott and Scorsese movies that made no none. Stanley says, that's the main guy. Okay. I guess that's the actor, the main astronaut. He was already like 70 in season 4. Yeah. Well, they were upping his age. It's easy to make him look old. A lot easier to make him look old than to make him look young. Anyway, guys, I think we'll call it a stream here. I know it's not the longest one, but I do need to eat and whatnot. So enjoy. I hope to see you guys around. Kapla all. Bird out. Remember to hang out in the underground. Free the net.org/underground. You can find me there later. Remember to head over to Admiral Teague's later to check out what's going over there. And we want a bird rant to end the stream with. DJ Playnights is going to roll out. Thanks for hosting. Farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Farewell, Mike Richards. A rant. Let's see. Let me let's find a random news article, something that'll get me all upset. Let's see. Tesla recall. How owners can fix potential safety problem. I don't know about that. Can this digital tool boost youth voter turnout? Why do we want to boost youth voter turnout? Families of subway strike victims say it's hard to get clarity. Drake officially releases Paris Hilton post pics of daughter London first time after fan pressure. When are nacho fries coming back to Taco Bell in 2024? Shit, nothing here. Nothing here is making me see anything about Iran. Sorry, guys. Josh Street says, wait, Bird is in the underground, so Sassy has finally overthrown you, Bird. Stanley says, and with commercials, here's some dude set himself on fire outside the trial. Yes. Apparently he did. Wasn't the Apple price increase good enough rant? Apple price? Like, I don't eat apples. The fuck do I care about increasing the cost of apples? Anyway, cop law all, Bird out.